it going, everybody? My name is EnvyTH, and we apparently just found out what the opening scene to Avengers Doomsday is. Now, when it comes to Marvel news, as always, you should take it with a grain of salt. This is a common thing with Marvel news. Always take it with a grain of salt because you never really know what is true and what is not true. We got a shit ton of rumors for like No Way Home, Deadpool, Wolverine, Avengers, like, you know, all these rumors that you may think are true and are not. However, Deadpool was like the only one that really was real. Everyone thought like a lot of the Deadpool rumors were fake, and it turns out 90% of them were real. But regardless, we have potentially found out what our opening scene of this movie, Avengers Doomsday, is going to be like. And I gotta say, at first, it sounds very confusing because you gotta picture how all of this is happening. But then once you really start to think about it, it actually makes a lot more sense than you think. I thought the opening scene to Avengers Doomsday, well, opening scene, like I say, take it with a grain of salt, is usually gonna involve something that showcases Dr. Doom in an extremely powerful way. This is gonna showcase how powerful Doom really is. I, for one, would have loved if they had done the shit from the comics where Doom rips out Thanos' spine. That appears untrue. Boom! That would have been awesome. Or like some people were theorizing like maybe he completely destroys the Council of Kangs, which I don't think we will be seeing Kang. However, I would also hate if that's how they like ended up bringing Kang back. Or you might just be like, you might just see Kang, but you're not gonna see Jonathan Majors because he obviously wasn't there to act on it. But he destroys the Council of Kangs, and it showcases like he is the powerful one. Now, like, Dr. Doom is the one that's trying to take over the multiverse now, and I guess he believes Kang was gonna prevent him. I don't know, something like that. Also thought Dr. Doom would either end up going to the TVA, finding Loki, not killing him though, I would have hated that, and it just essentially took him out of his spot, or just destroy the TVA entirely, which would have started the multiverse of madness, not the movie. Just all these incursions, all this insanity, all of this going around all over the place. However, that is not what we got. Now, according to a leak, like I said, take this with a grain of salt, the movie is set to begin in Wakanda, which is, you know, pretty subtle thing. We know like a lot of, you know, we already know a lot of the people who are going to be coming back from Wakanda, and it is even stated that Shuri, Namor, and M'Baku are going to be here as well. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And it even said that they're gonna have new costume designs, which is obviously expected. But I gotta say, for Avengers Doomsday, starting in Wakanda seemed very weird to me. I didn't understand, and then I thought about it. There is that leak of a Black Panther leak of Wakanda, but this is supposedly another universe entirely. So we're just gonna move alongside that. This is not part of this theory at all. Regardless, this is when some of the insanity in the multiverse begins to happen, and by insanity I mean incursions. And apparently at some point, this one literally like threw me by surprise. So those set leaks that we've been seeing of the X-Mansion and the Sentinels are apparently gonna end up being on Wakanda. And then after I thought about it, I was like, wait, if this is gonna involve that, how are the set leaks in the X-Mansion, but the movie's gonna start in Wakanda and it's gonna play off of each other? Well, as incursions are starting, once the incursion starts, parts of multiverses begin to merge. And when parts of multiverses begin to merge, you will see certain shit like that. This was demonstrated perfectly in Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. And this is when it actually started sounding pretty cool. So, after the incursions are setting place, eventually at some point, Invisible Woman, Gambit, Shang-Chi, and Deadpool. Yes, this is now essentially a leak confirming that Deadpool is going to be in the movie. Take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. They are here in Wakanda. How do they end up? Well, like I said, incursions are happening. Multiverses are merging. This is probably showcasing that all these multiverses are merging and about to get real. But why do they end up here? This is what I talked about in the leaks when we saw these Sentinel pieces. So now, according to this leak, these people are going to be fighting Sentinels, or just a Sentinel that is controlled by Dr. Doom. And this is actually something a lot of people were theorizing, and I think makes total sense. I think Dr. Doom is powerful enough and smart enough to take control over a Sentinel or Sentinels. Let's just hope for their sake it's a Sentinel. And we might not even see Doom in this. Maybe Doom just sent the Sentinel to them to destroy out a part of what he thinks could invade in his plan. And why would all these people be in Wakanda? Like I said, it could be a possible of incursions, but some people already ended up in the MCU. Spoiler alerts for people who haven't seen the Thunderbolts, but in the post-credit scene, we already know that the Fantastic Four is on their way to our universe, 616. And based off of some incursions we've already seen, even in the Marvels demonstrated this properly, we saw Monica Rambeau go from our space to a whole different space where the X-Men were. We saw Beast and we saw Binary. Stuff like this is gonna start happening regularly now. That shit that we saw at the end of the Marvels, we can expect more of that as the multiverse is about to collapse. So if Invis is here, if Shang-Chi is here, who's to say other people aren't? Like, we can get some sorcerers like Wong, maybe the rest of the Fantastic Four or half of the Fantastic Four. This is something that was done in Avengers Infinity War. We know the teams are going to be split up. We already know that. There are so many people in this movie. So that makes me back to the question, right? Now it's starting to actually kind of make sense why they would be in Wakanda. Well, as one thing we know about Wakanda, they have technology unlike any other nation, unlike any other place in the world. Their technology is superior. That makes me think, right? So we see the Fantastic Four ship go into 616. However, that was just a satellite image that we got from the Thunderbolts. We didn't exactly see where the ship was heading to. Now, this is a theory of my own. What if the Fantastic Four ship happened to land in Wakanda? And I know off the bat already, that sounds like a terrible thing to do, because if they're landing in Wakanda, that little shield barrier is going to destroy their ship. However, what if they land outside of Wakanda? Wakanda detects it. They take a look at it, and well, you get to meet the Fantastic Four, or maybe just part of the Fantastic Four. We don't really know who's in that ship yet. For all we know, half of the Fantastic Four or all of the Fantastic Four could have gotten their own ship, teleported to different universes. Even though we know what happened at the end of in that post-credit scene of Thunderbolts, we still don't know all the details yet. This is something Marvel's usually good at. You see something and you're like, oh, that's how it's gonna happen. And then they twist it around and it's like, oh, you're doing it like that. So you never know. I'm gonna be one of those people. Like, I'm gonna go on the assumption that all of the Fantastic Four are in there because it's a pretty big ship. But you never know. What if none of them are in there and it's just Franklin Richards? And Franklin Richards is literally, he has to be a key point in Avengers Secret Wars or Doomsday in general, because he literally has the power to alter realities, which is incredibly powerful and would probably have him becoming a serious asset, most likely in Secret Wars, than I would assume Doomsday, because I would assume he would still either be a baby in Doomsday or hell still be in Invis's stomach, which I don't think will be the case. But what if time passes when we get to Doomsday? What if time passes and, well, he's like 3 years old and they end up living on Wakanda because they landed near them? Is it too far-fetched to say? Because I would say, if your entire universe just got destroyed, which we think is gonna happen in the Fantastic Four movie, if your entire universe gets destroyed, one of the very first places I would love to go to is Wakanda. We know how secure it is.
This place.
So I don't know. I gotta say, it doesn't seem too far-fetched. I don't know if I'm totally against this opening, but I will say, when you really start to piece it together and think about all the shit we've seen in Marvel, it makes sense. I'm just still blown away of the people that was listed in this leak that we could potentially see. Just listen to the names of these people alone: Black Panther, Shuri, Namor, M'Baku, Invisible Woman, Gambit, Deadpool, Shang-Chi, and maybe the rest of the Fantastic Four. This is just the opening alone. Maybe Wakanda is the first one to really find out what's about to go down, because like we said, their technology is more advanced than any other nation. And maybe Reed Richards would like to work with the Wakandans because of their technology, and maybe he'll find a way to either get back to their world if it's not destroyed, or find a way to get to other worlds because we know what's about to happen and we need help from other realities. So let me know what you guys think about that. Is that a too far-fetched theory to think, or am I cooking here? I don't know. I'm honestly half and half. Like some of it's like, oh yeah, it sounds pretty good, and the other half is like, I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about all the news that I just gave you today. I'm going to end the video here because I have no other news revolving other movies or DC currently, but when I do, you will see a new video. Thank you all so much for watching. Click subscribe if you have not, and comment down below generally what you think about these possible theories and how excited are you about these movies, and let me know what else you want to see me talk about. Thank you all so much, and I'll leave it at that. TH out.